Grab your headphones and enjoy the true scary stories. It was a dark and stormy night. My great aunt, who lived alone in a remote ranch house, was awakened by a low growl from her faithful dog. She sensed something was wrong and got out of bed to investigate. She grabbed a flashlight and walked cautiously to the living room, where her dog was staring at the window with his hackles raised. She checked the door first and found it locked. She breathed a sigh of relief, thinking it was just the wind or some animal outside. She moved to the first window and pulled the mini blind slightly. It was also locked, and nothing was visible in the darkness. She felt a surge of confidence and decided to check the second window, just to be sure. She lifted the mini blind and gasped in horror. There, inches away from her face, was a man in a ski mask, grinning wickedly. He had a knife in his hand, and his eyes were filled with malice. He laughed maniacally and said in a raspy voice, "Party time, lady." He pushed the window open and lunged at her. She screamed and dropped the flashlight. Her dog barked furiously and bit the intruder's leg. The man cursed and kicked the dog away. He reached for my aunt, who was paralyzed with fear. Suddenly, a loud bang echoed in the house. A bullet whizzed past the man's head and shattered the window behind him. He looked up and saw another man standing in the doorway, holding a shotgun. It was my uncle, who had come to visit my aunt unexpectedly. He had heard the commotion and grabbed his gun from his car. He cocked the shotgun and aimed at the intruder. He shouted, "Get the hell away from her, you bastard." The intruder, realizing he was outnumbered and outgunned, scrambled out of the window and ran into the night. My uncle chased him for a while, but lost him in the woods. He returned to the house and hugged my aunt, who was sobbing in relief. He called the police and comforted her until they arrived. My aunt was shaken, but unharmed. Her dog was also fine and licked her face gratefully. She thanked my uncle for saving her life and told him he was her hero. She also decided to get a gun of her own and learned how to use it. She never wanted to feel helpless again. I shudder to think what would have happened to her if she didn't have her dog to warn her, or if my uncle didn't show up in time. It was a nightmare that haunted her for a long time and made her more cautious and vigilant. She never forgot that night when a stranger tried to break into her home and almost succeeded.